Today, a VHS tape from the early days of the Manhattan Project. Plus, I take you behind the scenes in the back rooms of a 1980s cable company. Plus, I reveal to the world what I have learned about my own origin story as Scott the Media Hoarder. The year was 1986. The Cosby Show was the #1 program on American broadcast television, and cable TV was sweeping the continent. A special elementary school class in Canada got an up-close look at how TV was made before we each had a TV studio in our pocket. I'm Scott the Media Hoarder. People come to me to help them preserve their memories on analog media into the digital realm so those family stories can be carried forward for the generations. You can do it too, and stay tuned. I'll show you how. Like, subscribe, all the thumbs, and that kind of thing. So I got an email from an old teacher saying, I've got this tape and it's stuck, and can you digitize it for me? And I'm, yes, I absolutely can, because this wasn't just any tape, and this wasn't just any former teacher. And the educational program the tape emerged from has been on my mind a lot lately as I've been doing some self-discovery. I'll tell you why. It's more personal than technical and might be the most important thing I have ever said on the internet, or at least in a YouTube video. I don't want to oversell it, though. Let's start with the tape. This came express post, and there's even an envelope to send it back. How nice. Good luck with this, Scott. I hope it's worth the trouble. Even if it doesn't work, it's going to be worth the trouble. So let's start with a physical inspection of the tape. Brand. Oh, well, it was imported for Home Hardware. Home Hardware is a Canadian home improvement store. Not a big box store like the Home Depots and Lowe's, but more a network of independently owned community hardware stores. And I guess they sold videotapes under their own brand. It has the VHS NTSC logo, so it's the real deal, of course. So the physical tape itself, it is so clean. I get a lot of tapes that have been through a lot, and some of them have mold. This one is a nice, it looks fairly short. What's the length of this one? It's a 60-minute tape. Most of the tapes that you and I and anybody who had one will remember from VCR days were 120-minute tapes, although I just did some 160-minute long tapes, and good golly were they long. So the reels in this one are a little bit bigger. So I'm going to be in trouble if I have to do a tape transplant. Like if this thing is so stuck that I have to take it apart and put the reels in another shell. I don't know, that might be an issue because I don't have another 60 around. But otherwise, this thing looks brand new. I'm going to tap a little button on the side here and lift the lid to look at the tape inside. And again, it looks as good as new. I see some that are really worn down, wrinkled, look like they've been chewed on by a bear. This looks good as new. Let's see anything else. Dirt, debris, labels and markings. Actually, that's a little concerning. Because this isn't this. This looks like a brand new tape. This is an 80s era box, so I'm a little worried here. This is a Scotch brand tape. I mean, it's possible that that Home Hardware rebranded Scotch tapes. I don't think that's likely, though. All right. I don't see anything on the outside that would make me think this won't play, so let's take a crack at it. Just to get a nice even playback the first time through, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward and then rewind all the way. I'm going to run it through on this VCR. It's a JVC. It's just a home unit. But we're going to run it through on fast forward. I haven't even told you what's on this tape that I'm fast forwarding. It's a school project. Not my school project. A project from my school, yes. Nowadays, making a video for school is no big deal. Everybody does that. You can do it on your phone. Having video capabilities in our pockets is a generation old now. But in an age when most people didn't have a camcorder or even a home movie camera, some people didn't even have still cameras. That was a big deal to have one of those even. Not a big deal, but going to your local TV station with your school class was an incredible privilege. And even more so in a small town. Like, the town that I'm talking about might have been 25 to 30,000 people, like not a metropolitan area. Back then, part of what cable companies gave back to the community was access to TV production and knowledge and coverage of the community. The regulators kind of said, if you want to put up a giant antenna and put wires to everybody's houses, and you're using some civic infrastructure and stuff like that, you got to give back to the community for sort of this license to print money. And they said giving access to and coverage of the community was part of the requirement for doing business. So if there was a local cable company, odds are they had a local community access station that was fully equipped as a professional TV studio should be. So what made this class so special? Oh, let me tell you about what the teacher made so special. This teacher was one of the most influential teachers I ever had of my whole childhood. She was the one who rolled a Commodore PET computer into the classroom in 1983, 82? Anyway, she was showing me this computer demo for the very first time. This is the first computer graphics thing I ever saw on a PET. And it changed my life. It set me on a path to use computers for everything. I mean, I suppose we all do, but I was in there in the early 80s, like programming them and running BBSs and stuff. It changed my life. So that's the teacher. What about the class? The class was the gifted class. And nowadays, everybody knows the gifted class. But back then, this was the very first time that this entire school region had a fully segregated, set apart from the rest of the kids, gifted class. They were treating it as a kind of special education. They drew some of the brightest kids from schools all around the region. They were bussed in from up to an hour away to go to this class, and they put us in the basement of the oldest school in town, next to the boiler room, whitewashed or white painted limestone foundation walls as our classroom walls. And he took our teacher, not this teacher, I'll get to it, took a thick black Sharpie and wrote on the paint, "The Manhattan Project," in reference to America's World War II effort to develop the atomic bomb in secret by drawing all the brightest minds from all over the country and the world to one place for one great big experiment. And the message was that we were that experiment. Not guinea pigs, but we were like the inaugural test of the thing. I don't know how else. Yeah, I guess guinea pigs, whatever. So I've been thinking about all that a lot lately because I was in that program. They started with a grade 4 and a grade 5 class. I was in the grade 4 class. This tape is from the class that was the grade 5 class. Although I think this is when they were in grade 7. This thing's still making some noise. But I think it's done. Let's pull it out. See if it's cooked. Whatever happened to the gifted program anyway? Like, were you in the gifted program? Like, did you? There we go. Yeah, that's a nice smooth one. Oh, that's velvety smooth. You can't see it there. But, oh, that's like butter. That looks like a brand new tape. Gifted program, kids, giftedness. Why am I going on about this? I'll circle back to that later because I've been thinking a lot about it. So I've got the tape. This is where it gets interesting, right? To capture the tape, we're going to use an old app called Virtual Dub. Virtual Dub 2 does a good job of capturing these tapes. So I'm going to put it in this Panasonic AG1970. It's going to go through this time-based corrector after going through this switcher thingy. And then into my capture device. Oh, you know what I need to do before we play this thing is we need to give it a file name. Okay, capture file. Scott, cable 10, tape, raw, part 1. That way, if the file name needs to increment, it can. Audio is good. We need to see the video. And we need to... What else? We need the histogram, right? Okay. Histogram. So we're going to play it a bit and see if the levels are good before we capture. Maybe I should be capturing first try in case the tape is a mess, but So I've got statics because that's the leader. There's no actual signal on the leader. So far, there's nothing. Not a thing. No sound, no picture. That's not a good sign. Nothing. Well, that's poopy. There's nothing on this tape. It's a brand new tape. It looks like a brand new tape. Feels like a brand new tape. There's nothing on the tape that I can see. I keep playing it and there's... This was going to be a great demo, I swear. Well, then what am I going to do about the big personal reveal? This was supposed to be a big thing. If I can't demo the tape, then the context for the reveal is... Well, let's give you the behind-the-scenes tour of the cable TV station anyway. I'll narrate that. So this place used to be Rogers Cable, long time ago. And the front office was here, and then they had this other door where you could come in and go into the cable TV production facility with a big TV studio behind me. But as you can see here, it's been a long time since this was a TV studio or a cable company office or anything else. What is this now? So this is what it used to look like just inside those doors.
Huh?
Give it up.
There's Janet telling me to give it up. There's Mark, camera guy. There's Rick. He was the director, setting up some shots, lighting everything. That guy looks really blown out just because the black background and the camcorder was trying to adjust for that. Overhead lights.
Sometimes if you're finding take a picture of you directing.
You see that window up there?
Your camera.
We're going to go up there in a
But I
second.
think this would be worth mentioning.
A view from the other side of the studio. They don't have a cyclorama or anything like that. It was just painted walls. That had lots of insulation. That's the lighting panel. It was just a breaker box. There were no lighting fades. Classy black and white CRT viewfinders. So upstairs in the control room, we had tape-to-tape editing deck, just an AB suite with a mixing console for the audio. Switcher.
Oh, I did. Called it with an A.
Man, that thing was fun to play with. Like, that felt like flying the space shuttle.
Like put the
We had a vector scope.
yeah, that's it.
There you go.
They were editing a production there. They had a lot of stuff going through because there was a lot of municipal coverage.
Okay, I bet they are.
Vic's just trying to write up the credits.
I don't know what fund this is.
It was done on a little portable MS-DOS computer that had a Genlock and a video output,
I don't even know what size it is.
which was kind of rare and expensive at the time. So Janet is doing playback at Master Control, big 3/4-inch tapes. I think that lady's name was Wendy. She's going through some community message requests that scrolled through when there was no programming on. And they wrote that, as you can see, on an Apple IIc, a logger tape, taking the audio just for regulatory reasons, just to make sure there's a recording of everything that went on the air, at least what was said on the air. Rewinding to cue up a tape. Another piece of fine local programming coming up in just a second on Rogers Cable 10. Checking the audio levels so she can make final adjustments before everything goes out to the head end into people's homes. So in the back offices, this is what the cable company was run like. There's Janet doing some typing on a good old-fashioned electric typewriter with one of them newfangled IBM PCs in the background. She didn't appreciate me following her around with a camera. I don't blame her. Copy room, photocopiers with a dustbuster. The break room had a TV on. Lots of pictures and news articles. And back in the front, library of tapes, old newspaper paper articles. Yeah, thanks. Battery charging station, mic flashes, and whatnot. Battery packs were huge and heavy in those days. And before that, they had big leather belts that used to carry the batteries. Okay. So that's behind the scenes of the TV station. This video really isn't coming together. Part of the point was that this teacher of the gifted program, they're having a reunion in a few weeks, and I think she wanted this tape, and I wanted to see her because she was a great teacher. Gifted program, circling back to... so I found this Venn diagram, and that Venn I was always in the gifted circle. I was in the gifted circle, and then I got an ADHD diagnosis. And then I started learning more, and then So I'm autistic. If you didn't know already. Anybody who's been subscribing for a while? I don't know. If you know anything about autism, I guess you'd probably go, Scott the Media Hoarder? Yeah. Okay, so the tape has nothing on it. I've been playing it for a while. I'm going to have to get back to my teacher and say I'm so sorry. I hope you enjoyed the tour of the TV station. I've got a tour of a radio station from the same era. So subscribe, like this, leave comments. Please, I'm new. I've been on YouTube for years, but I'm new at you engaging with personality and vulnerability on technical stuff. This is kind of a new vibe for me. And I'm sorry if I keep looking at myself in the monitor, but eye contact, Join me, won't you, for yet another episode of Scott the Media Hoarder in future, when I will endeavor to have something more to show you. Because I know that in my archives, the whole point of Scott the Media Hoarder is that I keep every little bit of video and audio I have from my personal history forever. So somewhere in this house, I bet I have the time that my class... No, I don't. Maybe I do. The time my class went to the TV station to do this. Perhaps in a future episode. Remind me, okay? I'm going to forget probably. Remind me. Comments. Okay. I think we achieved what we were supposed to today in an utterly inelegant fashion. I will kludge together more episodes and bring them to you here. Come back soon, won't you? I'm Scott the Media Hoarder. Yeah, let me look here. I'm Scott the Media Hoarder. Thank you for coming into my world, and thank you for letting me into yours. Come back soon, won't you? So I've just done what I can do with the tape you sent. I set up like lights, camera, everything. I'm making like a YouTube video about what a big deal it is for me to open this and capture it. And I wanted to open it up on video. And like, this is going to be a landmark production. Playing it, it looks brand new, never used. I'm sorry to disappoint. If you have any other candidate tapes that it could be, let me know. I will get right on it. Thank you for the chance to try.